Hi everybody, Shannon and Karen with Wandering Out Yonder, day 20.
Day 20.
We tried to visit Catalina State Park today, but the line to get in that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, probably 30-40 cars lined up to get into it. I'm not sure if there was an event going on in the park. That just didn't fit into the schedule today.
Out.
No.
So I started looking on my Road Tripper app, which by the way is pretty cool. Looked that up. Found this place. This is the Casa Grande, I guess, or Grand National Monument. And it's a lot about the human history of this area. They have been restoring, I guess, or preserving this particular area, ancient history, I believe, around 1100 AD is what this dates back to. Anyhow, we're going to take a walk through it and share it with you. All right, so we're starting to take it's kind of a interpretive trail, I guess. And there are some information boards, kiosks, I guess, all throughout the park here. Pretty cool. All right, so again, there are some numbered interpretive boards that you can read along the way that talks about the ruins out here. And they're still in the process of excavating this archaeological site and learning about it. About 4,100 years ago, people in southern Arizona began to grow corn. Over time, more and more crops were introduced by trade. People became more settled and lived in the same place for longer periods of time. They built earthen homes called pit houses and began to dig canals to water their fields. Some 1,500 years ago, large villages began to appear in southern Arizona. About 800 years ago, people here began to build not only pit houses, but above-ground buildings and wall compounds like the ruins you see before you today. So they have park rangers kind of stationed around the area to help you through it if you have questions. So this is kind of depicting the desert farming that used to happen. There were 220 miles of canals. Wow. The earliest canals were built 3,500 years ago. A lot of human history here. The open spaces are called plazas. Here you might have watched food preparations, pottery making, spinning, weaving, basket making, and other chores. In winter, people worked out in the open plazas where the sun could warm them. In summer, they sought shade alongside buildings or worked under breezy ramadas. Open weave wood and brushed overhead shelters. People used the rooms here in the compound for family sleeping quarters, storage, and ceremonies. You could pass into some rooms through doors in the walls. Others you could only enter from a rooftop hatch by climbing ladders. So pretty neat. I've got some different excavated areas out here. It says they were engineered to last. And here it's showing. Pretty cool. Other great houses were found along the Gila River and in the Phoenix Basin. Archaeologists believe another structure like the Casa Grande existed at the site of the Pueblo Grande, an archaeological park in Phoenix. So this was built about 700 years ago. It's pretty incredible. Archaeologists don't know for sure. Its original purpose remains a puzzle. Here there are still more questions. Was it an ancient astronomical observatory? Perhaps. Why do the walls line up north, south, east, west? Unknown. We can still observe the sun and moon line up with certain holes in the wall before you, year in and year out. Were sacred ceremonies held here? Did a leader who oversaw the all-important irrigation canals work inside these rooms? Did an influential family or clan call the Casa Grande their home? These are things that are still not known. It's likely served many purposes. Sure. Disrespected, then protected, in the 1700s and early 1800s, only a trickle of travelers came by the Casa Grande. First, Spanish explorers and Mexican and American travelers wondered who built the ruin and why. More people visited after 1879 when the railroad first reached the town of Casa Grande 19 miles away. Travelers scratched their names into the walls. Some took away artifacts, even pieces of the walls, as souvenirs. In 1889, Congress voted to protect Casa Grande ruins from further vandalism and looting. So they braced up the walls, and 3 years later, the federal government made Casa Grande the nation's first archaeological preserve. Who knew? Now, this kiosk talks about utilizing what the desert had to offer in order to live their lives. It says, for centuries, people harvested plants for food, medicine, and to make useful items for everyday living. Today, Native Americans follow traditions of collecting desert resources passed down for centuries. Women still gather desert willow shoots, cattail, devil's claw, yucca, and bear grass to make baskets.
Through the center of Phoenix. Alright, so we are coming up on our stay for tonight. We are staying at Lake Regional or Lake Pleasant Regional State Park or Regional Park.
Something
Lake
like that.
Pleasant something. Yeah. So it looks like it's a huge, huge lake. Karen was just mentioning we're still seeing the swallows. So we are getting to see some wild burros here at Lake Pleasant Regional Park. They're along the road here.
This is the view from our campsite.
Out the back of the van.
Out the back of the van. Lake Pleasant, Arizona.
Regional State Park outside of Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. And boy, this place is hopping. We pulled in, it was incredible. But anyway, it's a beautiful area that we're in. Saguaro cactus, burros. There are wild burros in the park all over the place.
I'm pretty sure that's a wild burro pile down there.
Oh yeah, it might be. So we might even see them at our campsite. So, and we're watching people out parasailing on the lake. That's pretty cool. And we're watching the storm roll in too. So that's kind of neat too. So anyhow, great view.
I want to get into the big
We have been a bit challenged again today with the tire issue. As it turned out, there was a slit in the tire. And we took it to 2 different dealerships yesterday and today.
We have had the same tire looked at 3 times in less than 24 hours.
So anyhow, we found a place here in Phoenix, and they suggested that we replace it, because from the time that we had it looked at today, and Shannon checked it every time we stopped, it started having a slit, and he said that probably is something that is an issue. So the wonderful choice of buying a tire on our trip happened.
Yeah.
But
to replace a tire that had less than 4,000 miles on it already.
yeah, Shannon bought new tires for the van before we left. Anyway, so we'll deal with that later. We're grateful that somebody was open, and whoever's looking out for us, thank you.
Yeah, we've had quite a few things on this trip where we're pretty sure somebody's looking out for us. So you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And you got to, what is it? When the universe is talking,
You have to listen.
you have to listen. So
Even though it might be aggravating, because it has been. It has been.
inexpensive.
You know, there's nothing more, I mean, when you're on a fun trip, nobody wants car trouble, or have to go out of your way, which we did.
Not once, not twice, 3 times.
So anyway, it's dealt with, knock on wood, and again, thank you to whoever's looking out for us. We appreciate it. That has been day
20.
20?
Yeah.
Is it day 20?
Yeah. So all of that did have a bearing on our plans for today. That and Catalina State Park being backed up, but Karen found a really cool plan B for us to enjoy at midday, which was nice. I'm glad that we got to see that. And I'm grateful that we got back to our site before the sun went down and we're going to be able to enjoy some views.
Yeah, because we pulled into this site and I said, oh, this is so fantastic. And then the tire issue. So we had to leave and go get that dealt with, which was 2 hours round trip, I guess, or so.
You got to deal with the bad along with the good. And we are fortunate that the bad wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. So anyhow, that was our view. I just shared with you, and I'll share it again. But anyhow, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you on day
21.
All right.